Good evening. This is Edward with sonsofgod.com, and it would be Sunday evening, the 20th of February, 2022. The word we're going to talk about this evening has to do with time. This is a kind of a far-reaching word, and it's not one that I have a lot of understanding. But I know that in the book of Revelations it talks about how time will be no more. Now there's various translations of that scripture, but the essence of it is that there will be an end of time as we know it. Now, we've talked about this before, that in the realm of spirit, time doesn't exist. And more than we understand, we are in the process of breaking out of the realm of time, personally. As the sons of God, we are not relegated to time as we know it. Yet everything in our life evolves around the measurement of time. Clocks, hours, days, weeks, years. Everything evolves around time. And I know in some ways it may be difficult to frame what you think of time. Time is just an element of the natural earth that we know, or so it seems. And time has always existed, time will always exist, and this world that we live in is measured and defined by virtue of time. Now, we also know that, and we've spoken of this before, that time is a person. Just like death is a person. Oh, death, where's your sting? So on and so forth. Death is swallowed up in victory. Time as well is an entity, something that we don't understand, because we've been living under the realm and world of time since we've been here. So everything within our mental paradigm accepts time as a reality of the natural plane. Yet time is not that. When you break into the realm of the Spirit and the realm of the Father's kingdom, time ceases to exist. And these are all things that can be very difficult to understand, because we're looking at things through the agency of our mind, how we have viewed reality, how we have seen everything, how we've defined it and structured it. And so when you think of time, you default into a paradigm that makes certain assumptions. The mind makes the assumption that time is real, that time has existed from the beginning and will always exist. And we don't realize that time is a being, just like in the whole realm of the Father's kingdom, there's a great deal of abstract that exists. Time is an abstract because it's real, but it's not real. It is, in essence, an entity that will be brought down, just like death will be brought down. Right now, death works in the hearts and minds of the men of this age. And so it has a function because it's within, it's seated itself within the mind and brought to a conclusion the fact that time must be real. Death must be real. And yet death is strictly an operation that's going on within the carnal mind. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's valid and it's true, except that your mind has accepted that for quite some time. And so the breakout that's happening is God trying to redefine our reality, trying to redefine how much we believe in the lie and in the illusion. God is bringing us into resurrection life and has brought us into resurrection life. But we still hold fast to the belief in death. Something down deep within our paradigm that we have had since our sojourn believes in death. And so death has a stranglehold. And death is at work in the hearts and minds of the men, women of this age, the children of this world. Death is in operation until it is brought to an end. But the first wave of breakthrough that we're looking for are the sons of God who stop believing in death as if it is a known reality that cannot be subverted. Just like time. We have come to a place where we believe that time is real and that we are dictated by virtue of time. And yet the Word talks about the breaking of time, the breaking of the time barrier, where time will cease to be. And we've studied this because I feel as though we're struggling to break out of our allegiance to, adherence to time. It's like time has its tentacles around us, and it's hard to break free from our belief in time. And yet, I'm here to say that time is passing. Time does not have a stranglehold within the sons except to the degree that we have allowed it. We're struggling right now to break out of time as if there's a certain time that we're waiting for, the time of the Father, the time of something that will give way into the manifestation of the works of God in the earth, but it's all set aside for a certain time. And no one knows the time and seasons of the Father, but the Father himself. It sounds like I might be going contrary to what the Lord has spoken in the Word. But I don't believe that time is to be our master any longer. I believe it's time that we break out of the confines of time as it has been in operation within our mind. And that's been the promise. While the world lies under the power of the wicked one, while the world still vies with the illusion reality of time, the sons themselves step out of time. I know that we've met different ones over the years who seem to be beings outside of time. And I can't explain that to you, nor could John. Well, maybe he could. But there are already those who have stepped outside of and beyond time and are not controlled by time. I don't believe Enoch or Elijah or many others that have made the transition on a certain level are any longer controlled by the spirit of time. And I know that the destiny of this entity is that it shall be brought down. Time seems to work hand in hand with death. And they seem to work within the decay of the human mind that accepts these limitations of time and as being factual when they're not. Right now we're in the throes of a great wrestling in the spirit to step outside of the limitations that we have accepted and known and believed, unfortunately, whether that's time or many of the other perceptions that we carry as a product of the soul carnal mind that we have. There are times when you feel as though you're stuck. You're stuck inside of a window of time somehow. And you have got to do everything you can to pull yourself out and continue on in the path. I've seen that a number of times as we've walked in this sojourn of ours. You get stuck in a scenario, in a situation, in a lifestyle, name it, whatever you want. But all of a sudden you get stuck. And you're in a quagmire because it has to do with time almost stopping with its tentacles about you, and you can't seem to shake it. You're not moving forward, you're not moving backwards. You just seem to be stuck in that in-between state. until you wake up and shake yourself and pull out of that window where time seemed to stop. And that's a lot different than time being no more. This is a point where you get frozen in time and you're trying to pull yourself out to keep moving more deeply into the ways of God. But you have to confront those times when everything seems to go in slow motion and literally stop. We're in the midst of something very mystical, because you have a number of things unfolding in the earth, and yet you have the operation of time that seems to hover over all of it, and time slows down and time speeds up, but you're almost caught in a middle point. And the only thing that you can do, rise, shake yourself, throw off the illusion of time, and keep pressing in. It's a conflict that we're not real familiar with. Because how do you identify this? You're in conflict with the spirit of time and the ending of the spirit of time as it has controlled you, as it controls the whole earth. And time may in itself not be a satanic entity, but it's utilized and controlled, manipulated through the satanic forces. And the word says if time was not cut short, no flesh would be saved alive. Where are we? Are we in this window of time where time must be cut short, or no flesh will be saved alive? What is being said there? Except the sons of God have got to step out of the restraints and the manipulation and control of time over their lives and step into the timelessness of sonship. And the sons then begin to control. All of the world will be passing away, is passing away, but not the sons of God. It is their destiny to break free. And in breaking free, to come to a place of control over time as we have known it. And that which the enemy has sought to bring an end to humanity and an end to mankind seems to be linked into the need to see the ending of time. For if time isn't cut short, no flesh will be saved alive. Time. Not just take a couple hours out of your day, but time, the entity, time, the living essence that exists, that time must be brought to an end, must be cut short in his ability to control and manipulate the times and seasons of men and the times and seasons of the satanic hosts as they seek to bring about the demise of the entire world. It's all based upon a timeline. What is the timeline? We don't know. But we know we're being drawn into something in the realm of spirit beyond what we understand, beyond what we can make sense of, because it's not in the realm of the carnal mind or the realm of the physical that you understand these things. This is in the realm of spirit. And we're in this warfare with the spirit of time as it both works and functions within the hearts and minds of men, but also as it aligns itself to a certain timeline in Satan's plan to see the end of what we've known. Time must be cut short, and we also know the promise that time will be no more. It will not only be cut short, but it will be eliminated as we have known it, at least at first for the sons of God. And then it remains to be seen how it unfolds for the rest of the earth. The warfare right now is one of time and delay. The enemy knows that if he can delay, he can win the battle. And that delay also has to do with time. If he can just let things play out a little bit longer, delay the fulfilling of God's plan for the sons of God, if he can do that, then he can win the race. But we know that he's not going to win the race. But there's something deep within our spirits, a deep travail, a deep groaning, a deep reaching that's beyond words and certainly beyond our understanding, that is reaching to see the end of time as we have known it, that is reaching to break the barrier and limitation of time, that is reaching to cut time short, lest any flesh be saved alive. What does that mean? We don't know exactly. You can speculate on what that might mean across the face of the globe with various potential scenarios that seem to be happening in the earth right now on different levels. Is that what we're speaking of? Is that what the Father is speaking of? That we're to break the timeline, lest it all come to an end. The sons must break the timeline, yet the sons themselves are wrestling with a détente with the spirit of time, and to where you feel like you're running in a quagmire. This must break. This must break. The sons must break free into the liberty that God has ordained for them, the very liberty that will affect all of creation, and the very liberty that will put the neck of time in your hands to defeat. The sons are not subject to time, but time is subject to the sons until such time as complete judgment is rendered upon the spirit of time. So we're in this battle, the battle of the timing of the Father, the timing of the enemy, the need to see things cut short. All that we see unfolding in the earth right now, and the rhetoric and the illusion and the lie, comes down to the need to break free from that which has held you by the ankle in a window of illusion, in a window of delay, to where the sons break free, break out of the limitation and illusion of time, and move themselves as they are indeed timeless beings. So this would be just a meditation for a Sunday evening. Amen.